This is a very important moment in the Naruto franchise. Despite being killed before the events of the story's official start, Shisui's influence could be felt across the entire series, resulting in the deaths of many and the path of Sasuke, which most thought was irreversible. In the story, Shisui possessed the Sharingan. In fact, he possessed them in the Mangekyo variant due to having witnessed the death of a close friend, and that left Shisui feeling responsible. Having awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan, Shisui discovered his ability to cast a subtle genjutsu that flew so low under the radar that he could get anyone to follow his commands without knowing that they were even under genjutsu. In a sense, it was the direct opposite of Itachi's Tsukuyomi. During the time that the Uchiha coup was set to occur, he planned to use it on the clan elders and avert a catastrophe. However, Danzo Shimmura, the guy who has an arm with a 360-degree field of vision, believed that Shisui's plan was trash and would never work, and worse yet, would be a threat to the village. And so he found Shisui and popped out his eye before immediately putting it in his own head on the spot, like some twisted Ragetti from Pirates of the Caribbean. With the loss of his eye and the knowledge that he would fail to stop the coup or protect his other Mangekyo from the other power-hungry Danzo, Shisui wrote a suicide note that made it sound as if he had destroyed his other Mangekyo to keep Danzo from searching for it. He would then give his other eye to Itachi, who would implant it into a crow. Shisui would then cast himself into the Naka River, killing himself. This caused Itachi to develop his own Mangekyo Sharingan, something that aided him when he destroyed the Uchiha Clan. But part of me wonders what would have happened if Shisui had never lost his eye. What if Shisui didn't die?
Welcome to the Amagi! Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Also, we just released some brand new merch. If you'd like to show your support for the channel even further while at the same time repping stylish clothing, be sure to check that out as well. The store is linked below. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
Our story starts out the same day that Naruto is born. The Nine-Tails is set free by a man wearing a mask possessing a Sharingan. Given that this becomes public information due to the look in Kurama's eyes telling everyone that he's under a Sharingan's genjutsu, it's only natural to suspect that someone from within the only clan to possess this particular Kekkei Genkai would be at fault. It is such that when Kurama was in the middle of the attack, despite the ability to stop the beast, they were instead forced to wait on the outskirts of the village to stop them from interfering. This was all due to the belief that the Uchiha clan were behind this. After the Demon Fox was stopped by the valiant efforts of the Fourth Hokage, the village was to be rebuilt. However, Fugaku noticed that the Uchiha clan's compound was being moved to the edge of the village, where they could obviously be watched in the future. This really served as the straw that broke the camel's back. The Uchiha were always at war with the Senju, the two factions that formed the Hidden Leaf. Only after a long and arduous war that spanned nearly 1,000 years did peace ever really come to be. It was in the years of Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha did a weary and crumbling Uchiha clan finally agree to a peace treaty. Together, Madara and Hashirama would form Konoha, a village where children would know peace. Of course, Madara would later betray Konoha, attempting to crush it after coming to believe that it was the wrong way to achieve peace, becoming fixated on the Uchiha stone monument which spoke of the infinite Tsukuyomi. Madara tried to convince the Uchiha to join him in overthrowing the village hidden in the leaves, but they refused, due to being unwilling to destroy what they helped build, only to start another war that they knew they couldn't win. In the following years, though, the Uchiha clan began to see a disturbing trend of events transpiring against them. They were never treated correctly by the village, with them only being presented the Konoha police force to help ease tensions. Despite this, their clan never once produced a Hokage, due to the fact that the elders were predominantly Senju followers. After the end of the Third Shinobi War, after suffering the scorn of many in the village, Hiruzen decided to step down as Hokage and offer the position to the next generation. Fugaku was in the running along with Minato Namikaze, the student of Jiraiya, the student of Hiruzen. For a moment, the Uchiha had a glimmer of hope that maybe finally they might get a turn to run the village they co-founded, but it was not meant to be. Minato was named Hokage over Fugaku, and the Uchiha began to believe that there was nothing that could be done to ever be equal in the village they helped to make. All of this on top of the fact that Konoha officials had moved the compound to the edge of the village, almost symbolic of their alienation in the one place they felt they might belong, the curse of hatred was fed. It became a poorly kept secret plot within the Uchiha that they would storm Konoha and destroy its leadership, usurping control. Itachi, of course, did not believe in this, knowing that such an action would not only destabilize the village, but would also destabilize the whole world, and lead to another world war, the likes of which they had just been freed from. Itachi didn't want to see it, and he was not alone in that. Shisui Uchiha, another boy of the Uchiha Clan who had awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan after the death of a dear friend, also hoped to stop it. Together, Shisui and Itachi conspired to find a way to stop the coup, going so far as to rat on the Uchiha to the third Hokage, which they thought would be the best way to stop it. This only incurred the wrath of Danzo, however, who was proven to be the physical embodiment of the thing within the village that kept the Uchiha as outsiders. Shisui announced that he had an ability called Kodoamatsukami, which would allow him to peacefully end the conflict if cast upon the Uchiha clan heads. He was prepared to use it, but Danzo didn't believe it would work. Now, it's normally at this time that Shisui, walking alone, would be assaulted by Danzo and other root members who would attempt to steal his Sharingan, but instead of that, I'm going to throw Itachi into the situation as well. While Shisui walked home with Itachi, Danzo attacked. However, due to the two prodigious Uchiha shinobi working in perfect tandem, they managed to push Danzo and Root back and escape back to the village. It's during this time that Itachi realizes that everything the Uchiha hate about Konoha is true. Shisui would inform him that whether those feelings are based in reality or not, they cannot let the Uchiha destroy the village. To that, Itachi agrees. This doesn't alter their plans any. Instead, it merely amends them, forcing them to take greater caution of Danzo, the Anbu, and Konoha as a whole while they work. Shisui would then await the next clan meeting and would begin casting Kodoamatsukami on the most prominent and powerful Uchiha in the compound, slowly eroding their will to revolt. This, however, must be done over a period of time, and it must be done carefully, as Shisui can only cast Kodoamatsukami on one person at a time over a period of time, as Danzo stated during the 5 Kage summit in the original timeline. During that arc, Danzo attempted to use the same Mangekyo Sharingan ability that he had taken from Shisui Uchiha. However, instead of successfully casting it, Ao, who was in possession of a Byakugan, managed to witness the use of the ability and called him out for it. After that, nobody in the summit trusted Danzo ever again, with him telling them to calm down as the genjutsu isn't one he can cast many times during the day. Originally, when I heard this, I assumed it was because he was not an Uchiha and the toll it took on his body was too intense. However, upon realizing that the other eye of Shisui, which also possessed Kodoamatsukami, could only be cast once in so many years, I came to realize that the ability must also have a time limit instead of a physical limit like I believed was true for Danzo. This means that Shisui can only cast the technique, say, twice per day. While the one eye takes 10 years to cool down, perhaps the other takes merely 10 hours. This would mean that every 10 hours, Shisui could cast the genjutsu on someone else, which would result in another Uchiha losing their will to fight. Eventually, after some time had passed, and likely when Shisui is nearly blind in his eye, the last major Uchiha clan member will have changed their mind, and the entire clan will have decided against the coup. At least for now. So how does this change anything? It changes a lot, actually, as the Uchiha clan's downfall was one of the driving forces of the story, and served as primary motivation for Sasuke to follow his path of darkness for over half the series, until the truth was revealed prior to Sasuke deciding to take his hatred to Konoha. So, moving forward, Itachi does not ever need to kill the Uchiha clan. He's free to continue his work in the Anbu alongside Kakashi, reporting into Hiruzen every so often about how the Uchiha are doing, maintaining peace. As years go by, he continues to watch Sasuke grow up happily and with all the love he deserves. Itachi would also explore his own budding romance with Izumi Uchiha, and during this time, Sasuke enters the academy alongside Naruto. While he isn't quite as strong as he would be in the original timeline, he is every ounce as smart, and has every bit of potential that his original timeline counterpart would have. Other Uchiha children would be joining the academy as well. And so, when Itachi finds the masked man walking around, a man he believes is Madara, he would inform the Hokage, who would have the man driven out. Shisui also continues to serve the Anbu for some time. Now, moving on to how this affects the story. Naruto would only barely pass the test to allow him to become a genin through stealing the scroll of sealing under orders of Mizuki. When Iruka throws himself between Naruto and a deadly Fuma Shuriken meant to kill him, Naruto unleashes his true power and forms over 100 shadow clones, which he uses to beat Mizuki into submission. A feat which earns him the privilege to become a genin. He would be put on the same team as Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto is ecstatic because Sakura is his crush and Sasuke is his best friend. When Naruto couldn't count on anyone's friendship, he could count on Sasuke. In this timeline, Sasuke is a lot sweeter than in the original, because we already know that mini Sasuke before the massacre was prone to smiling and playfully following his brother around everywhere. He only becomes cold and dark when he loses everything and is hit with the full force of the curse of hatred. Without that one moment in his life, I can see that smile staying, and Sasuke remaining as kind and playful as he always had been. That means that he and Naruto, despite their rivalry, are good friends in a fashion not too dissimilar from Might Guy and Kakashi. Speaking of Kakashi, when the former Anbu turned Jonin shows up, he would get to know them, learning that both Naruto and Sasuke share the same, albeit common, dream of becoming Hokage, and would then force his students to take his classic bell test to see if they were worthy of becoming his Genin team. Naruto and Sasuke, despite everything, tend to work well in conjunction with each other. They are already friends, so it's a given that they would put each other before the missions. As for Sakura, both boys share a crush on her, and she reciprocates to varying degrees between them. So he knows that she and they would also put the mission aside to save each other. This is further cemented when they choose to feed Naruto after Kakashi commands that they don't, as punishment for Naruto trying to take all the food for himself when he gave up hope. For Kakashi, this is a total win, and he allows them to join his team. From that point on, they do regular odd jobs for the village until Naruto's constant whining garners them the opportunity for something a little more intense. They are to escort Tazuna to the Land of Waves, where he'll help build the bridge which will increase trade between Konoha and the Land of Waves. However, Tazuna is too poor to afford the Chunin of which this mission would normally require, so he lied on the forums, saying that they would only need to watch out for bandits when he meant to say assassins. This allows him to pass the mission off as a lower rank one, which is cheaper. The facade doesn't last very long though, as almost immediately out of the gate, they are attacked by the Demon Brothers who nearly kill them. However, with Kakashi and Sasuke working well together, they're able to defeat them. Naruto, having frozen in fear, is checked up on by Sasuke, who finds his wound, cuts it open, and sucks out the poison personally before wrapping it up. When Sasuke and Sakura are gushing over Naruto, who's feigning being worse off than he actually is just for the attention, Kakashi is having a long talk with Tazuna about a little thing we like to call fraud. Tazuna explains the situation to the Jonin, who, out of the kindness of his heart as well as the curiosity to see how well his team might fare in a hostile environment, Kakashi elects to continue the mission, leading his team on until they're caught by Zabuza, who traps Kakashi in a water prison. Sasuke and Naruto put their noggins together and come up with a plan to free him, which involves Naruto pretending to be a Demon Wind Shuriken, which Sasuke will throw in the shadow of another. And when Zabuza's guard is down after the dodging of both Shuriken, Naruto will appear and throw a Shuriken at the back of his head. They enact the plan, and to both their credit, it actually works. By the time Zabuza realizes there's a kunai coming at his head, it's too late and he has to dodge. Doing so separates his hand from the water prison, allowing Kakashi to break free. Zabuza, realizing that there is no way to beat the entire team alone, fakes his death with the help of Haku, who is disguising himself as a hidden mist hunter nin. Struck by Senbon in places that simulate fatality, Haku takes Zabuza off. Kakashi notes this is strange because Hunter Nin normally dispose of the body on the spot as per protocol, as opposed to transporting it away as Haku had. This leads Kakashi to suspect that Zabuza might still be alive. However, he's too tired to think about it for long as he collapses not long after. Taken to Tazuna's house, Kakashi begins to recover, all the while he commands his students to train, teaching them to run up and stand on vertical and inverted surfaces respectively. He asks Sakura, whose greatest skills are chakra control and intelligence, to explain the concept to her much simpler teammates, which she does so beautifully with diagrams. Together, Naruto and Sasuke have quite the hard time doing it due to neither applying enough chakra to keep themselves righted. Kakashi has them continue and Sasuke eventually picks it up, though Naruto has a harder time and stays out all night and all day, during which he meets Haku, who he believes is a girl at first due to the fairness of his complexion as well as choice of attire. Boy, was his bubble burst. Eventually, Naruto picks up the skill through pure hard work and determination and earns himself the chance to sleep in all day by Kakashi, who believes that he can handle the mission from that point on. But you know our Naruto, the moment that he realizes he was left behind, he's quickly on his feet and on his way to help. Turns out it was a good idea for Kakashi to leave him behind, as when Gato's lackeys come to kidnap Inari and Tsunami, he is there to defend them both, and then he sets off for the bridge, where he throws himself into the trap that Sasuke had found himself in, something that surprises even Sasuke. Regardless, Sasuke is glad to have him there, and together they both attempt to defeat Haku, but are reduced to merely attempting to survive him, which even then seems unlikely. It's then that Sasuke takes one for Naruto, jumping in the way and taking the Senbon himself, entering a death-like state. However, Naruto and Sakura do not know it's a fake death, and Naruto, having lost his best friend, unleashes the initial state of his version 1 cloak and shatters the mirrors, causing both Kakashi and Zabuza to look back in horror as Haku is neutralized through fear and defeat. It's then that Kakashi gains the upper hand and goes to kill Zabuza, only for Haku to jump in the way and take the shot for him. Despite the lucky break, Zabuza still can't stand up against Kakashi and is defeated. And then, when Gato and his men show up to finish the job, chastise Zabuza, and abuse the body of Haku, Zabuza loses his cool and proceeds to kill everyone at the expense of his own life, proving once and for all why he's called the Demon of the Mist. He laments that he will never see Haku again, as Haku's soul was pure and surely has gone to heaven, with Zabuza himself being rotten and destined for hell. Kakashi tells him not to fear though, and tells him that the two of them will see each other again. Zabuza then gazes one last time upon his only friend in the whole world and dies. Due to his heroic actions on the bridge is then named after Naruto, and to make things better, they come to realize that Sasuke isn't even dead. So, happy endings all around, right? They return to Konoha, where it's revealed that the Chunin exams are set to begin, and due to their valiant actions during the Land of Waves mission, Kakashi has decided to let his team take the exams themselves. He asks them if they wish to join the exams, and they each do. This results in all three of them signing up for it at once, which Kakashi neglected to tell them was a requirement, as he had hoped that they would decide for themselves what to do. The first test is a written one, something that Sakura can ace. Sasuke and Naruto, on the other hand. In this timeline, due to there being no massacre, Sasuke does not possess an awakened Sharingan, which means that he won't be able to cheat like he did last time. Naruto is still as stupid as before, so he won't even try to answer a single question. Despite the fact that he can't answer the questions, he still chooses to take the eternal make-or-break question, which to any normal person would be like throwing away his future. Our lovable little ninja bean is too dumb to know that though, so he takes it anyway in the ultimate show of gutsiness, and due to that, he auto-passes. Ibiki Marino, the proctor, is then left in shock, realizing Naruto didn't answer a single question, leading him to wonder if Naruto was gutsy, a genius, or just stupid. Technically, the answer is all three, but in this case, it's just options 1 and 3. After this, we get the second part of the exam, the Forest of Death, which sees our heroes making their way through the forest in an attempt to steal an opposing team's scroll in hopes of passing the test and making their way to the third round. Normally in this event, Team 7 is hit with major issues in the form of Orochimaru and Team Dosu, but due to there being so many Uchiha that still exist in this timeline, Orochimaru likely already has the Sharingan, and thus has no need to take Sasuke's body. So Orochimaru does not attack him, nor does he place the Cursed Seal of Heaven on him. This also means that Team Dosu has little to no interest in attacking them, leading only to Team 7 finding their second scroll without an issue and making their way to the center building in a very quick time. Then comes the third test, which is split up into two halves, the preliminaries and the finals. Exhibition matches. For Naruto and Sasuke, things go off without a hitch due to both still having access to their power. Naruto never sees his power sealed by Orochimaru, meaning he's free to use his initial Jinchuriki cloak against Kiba, and Sasuke is free to use ninjutsu to beat Yoroi. When the month off comes around, Naruto trains with Jiraiya to increase his control over the Nine Tails, while Sasuke trains with Kakashi, where he manages to awaken his Sharingan through pure determination, and then manages to master the Chidori. A good ways in, Naruto awakens his completed version 1 cloak and manages to summon Gamabunta and earn his respect in battle. Due to not having to contend with the 5 element seal, Naruto completes his training quickly enough to begin learning the Rasengan, which he manages to pull off by the time he goes back to participate in the finals. It's here that Naruto manages to defeat Neji in battle, surviving his gentle fist technique by pure raw power. After this, Sasuke finally returns from training to face off against Gaara, where he manages to break his defenses and wound him, causing Gaara to flee. It's during this time that the Konoha Crush arc begins in full force, with Kabuto casting a genjutsu to put everyone to sleep, and Orochimaru attempting and succeeding in killing the Hokage. Sakura manages to wake up Naruto and tells him that Sasuke has rushed off to face Gaara. Naruto also rushes off to help. It becomes clear to Team 7 that they can't win unless Naruto begins to pull out all the stops, which surprises the entire team. Naruto manages to hold off Shukaku with Gamabunta before rushing in to cluck Gaara, waking him up and forcing Shukaku back inside. Naruto then tells Gaara that he understands what it's like to be an outcast, and tells him that it's okay to feel sad and lonely. But he doubles down on this by stating that he has friends now, and if he ever threatens them again, Naruto won't hesitate to kill him. Gaara is then rescued by Kankuro and Temari. The entirety of Team 7 is checked into the hospital, which is already overflowing due to the attacks on the village by Orochimaru. Eventually they would get out and attend the funeral of the Hokage. After this, Naruto is sent with Jiraiya to pick up Tsunade to be the next Hokage. While he's gone, Kisame comes to town in search of the Nine Tails, but is met by Itachi, who drives him back. However, Itachi discovers at this moment that he is sick and begins to cough up blood. Might Guy would give chase while Itachi rests, managing to stop Kisame right as he catches up with Naruto. After this, Naruto and Jiraiya would meet Tsunade in a restaurant and ask her to come back to the village with them, which she refuses. Her plans are different. She plans to kill Orochimaru, likely dying in the process. But when Naruto and Jiraiya show up, they manage to save her from this fate, driving off Orochimaru and Kabuto, saving her and convincing her to return to become Hokage. Now, before we continue, I need to simply tell you that there is no Sasuke recovery mission. Why is that? Sasuke does not need to be recovered because he never leaves the village. He doesn't need to because Itachi never killed the Uchiha, and thus Sasuke has no motivation to join Orochimaru, and even if he did, Orochimaru probably wouldn't want him anyways, as he likely already has the Sharingan from one of the many other Uchiha who possess it. Even scarier is the possibility that Orochimaru already has a Mangekyo Sharingan. So there's no reason for Sasuke to leave, meaning that we go straight into the 3-year time skip, during which Naruto trains the same with Jiraiya as he would have in the main timeline, Sakura trains under Tsunade, and Sasuke likely trains under Itachi and Kakashi. It's also during the time skip that Itachi and Izumi finally get married, and by the time Naruto returns, Izumi is already pregnant with her and Itachi's first and likely only child, as it has come to light that Itachi is ill with an incurable disease. This is something that hangs like a dark cloud over the home of Fugaku. Knowledge that Itachi is about to lose his life at the early age of 21, leaving behind a widow and baby who will never know its father in a meaningful way. It's because of this that Sasuke is not present when Team 7 reconvenes for the second bell test. He's busy working his tail off to keep Itachi comfortable, as well as looking after Izumi and his as-of-yet unborn nephew. Word comes in that Gaara has been captured by the Akatsuki, and Naruto would go alongside Kakashi and Sakura to deal with it, as Sasuke remains home with his family. Sakura would find Kankuro, his body being devastated by poison, which she manages to cure due to her studies under Tsunade, possibly the greatest medical kunoichi to ever live. With Kankuro's help, they learn where the Akatsuki are hiding, and together they manage to track the Akatsuki down and stop them before they can kill Gaara, with Deidara only escaping with the yin half of Shukaku. And yes, I'm assuming that all tailed beasts can be divided into yin and yang. They manage to defeat and kill Sasori, and before you ask, no, the Tenchi recon mission does not occur, at least not in a way that involves Team 7, as Sasuke has not left the village and Team 7 has no reason to go without a connection to the mission in some way. Gaara is still alive and thanks Naruto for his help. They return to the village where Tsunade begins to send shinobi out to find the Akatsuki while asking Naruto to train intensely to develop a new jutsu, which he manages to do, calling it the Rasen Shuriken. While the Konoha shinobi are out searching for the Akatsuki, they manage to discover Hidan and Kakazu, which turns out real bad for Asuma and his team, as Hidan manages to kill him. After the funeral, everyone is mobilized to bring down Hidan and Kakazu, including Naruto, who manages to bring down Kakazu with his Rasen Shuriken at the expense of his arm's functions for quite a while. Shikamaru manages to get revenge for Asuma by removing Hidan's head and burying it deep in a place where nobody will ever find it, and there it remains to this day. I actually seriously hope that Kishimoto remembers Hidan and brings him back for an arc in Boruto. I mean, I know they already did that Cult of Jashin arc, but bring back Hidan, just as a head. He was a cool villain and he could make for a really good arc. It's during this time that Jiraiya is sent by Tsunade to the village hidden in the rain, where he begins to search for the truth of who is leading the Akatsuki. Sadly, he finds out. Pain kills Jiraiya before setting his sights on the leaf. It's during this time that Itachi's time on Earth comes to a close, and he succumbs to his illness, having never met his unborn child. This is something that deeply affects Sasuke, causing him to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. Not long after, Naruto is told that Jiraiya has died, and is asked to help decipher his final message, which he does. Naruto and Sasuke find themselves both sitting on the popsicle bench, pouring one out for their lost loved ones. They would console each other as best they could before ultimately failing and both crying openly and loudly in each other's arms. Naruto would then, as per the last request of Jiraiya, train under the Toad Sages of Mount Myoboku. It would be then that Pain would assault the leaf with his 6 paths. However, due to Sasuke's presence, much of the battle goes a little better, letting there be some time for Naruto to arrive to provide assistance with his new Sage Mode. Naruto and Sasuke together team up and manage to defeat the 6 paths of pain. Naruto then talk no Jutsu's Pain into bringing the dead back to life, which he does. Sadly, this doesn't include Jiraiya since he died outside of the village, and it doesn't include Itachi as he wasn't killed by Pain. However, both Naruto and Sasuke are viewed as heroes due to their saving the village from Pain. However, the threat is only now revealed as Tsunade calls a 5 Kage summit to discuss the threat of the Akatsuki, which leads to Tobi appearing and declaring the Fourth Shinobi World War when they refuse to give him the 9 Tails and the 8 Tails. Returning to the village, Naruto is sent away to train with B by Tsunade, who really just wants to stash him somewhere to keep him safe from the Akatsuki, who plan to take his 9 Tails. Naruto goes, and while there, he manages to overcome the darkness in his heart by forgiving Konoha for their years of abuse. Then, with the help of Kushina's spirit, Naruto manages to tear away Kurama's chakra, which grants him access to Nine Tails chakra mode, which, upon assuming, allows him to sense the distant war as it reaches its climax. He heads off for the front lines, where he manages to help defeat many of the Edo Tensei, including the revived Pain, as well as helping them weed out the Zetsu trying to sneak their way into the camp. Then, along with Kakashi's help, he manages to defeat Tobi, exposing his true identity as Obito Uchiha, who proceeds to help fight the Ten Tails and its Jinchuriki. Due to having not massacred the clan, the Uchiha can help Konoha in the war, and due to the dangerousness of the war, many Uchiha will have gained Mangekyo Sharingan and amazing abilities along with them, including, but not limited to, Susanoo. This will make things a lot easier, and they would manage to pull the Ten Tails out of Obito, though Naruto would still lose his tailed beast when Madara officially revives and reclaims the Ten Tails from the reformed Obito. This leads to Obito needing to take some of the Ten Tails chakra from Madara before going to give it to Naruto in the Kamui dimension. Naruto, having received it, is revived from near death, taking a half portion of the Sage of Six Paths power, with Sasuke having received the other half in a vision of the Sage. Together they team up against the Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara, whose body is quickly taken over by Kaguya as the moon rises and the time of the infinite Tsukuyomi comes upon them. However, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, and Obito are excluded from the Tsukuyomi due to Sasuke's Six Paths Susanoo. They give chase to Kaguya through her many different dimensions until they engage in their final battle, in which Obito sacrifices his life to save Naruto, finally earning that place on the monument of Konoha's fallen heroes. Naruto and Sasuke then manage to touch her with the distraction that Kakashi and Sakura caused, sealing Kaguya away in her own dimension where nobody will find her, though I suppose it would be cool if she came back in a later Boruto arc. The Sage of Six Paths then uses his power to bring the team back, where Sasuke releases the infinite Tsukuyomi. After this, peace ensues for a time until Toneri appears to take Hinata as his wife and destroy the world by dropping the moon on it. I don't really see this going any differently, as Naruto is just as strong as he was before, and Sasuke has not self-exiled himself due to betrayal, because, as you guessed it, he never left the village because there was no massacre. Naruto marries Hinata, and with Boruto's help he defeats Momoshiki Otsutsuki. Then, when Ishiki arises, Naruto uses Baryon mode and defeats the Otsutsuki at the expense of Kurama's life. Naruto would then take a side role as the Code arc continues. This is just one of the many ways that things could play out, I suppose. I'm sure there are plenty of scenarios out there that could explain what happens, and I'd love to hear them. Please post a comment below and let me know about it.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi. And make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.